Today I wanted to focus on the thoracic spine, and particularly on the back bends, but not really intense back bends, but back bends and movements which energize the thoracic spine. So when we work with the thoracic spine as opposed to the lower back and the sort of we've been working a lot with parasympathetic nervous system, right? Slowing everything down, calming everything down, making everything very gentle. So working with the thoracic spine is much more about the sympathetic nervous system. But we don't want to overstimulate the sympathetic nervous system. We want to be able to utilize the sympathetic nervous system. In other words, when we need energy, we can draw on that energy. When we need focus, we can draw on that focus. So the practice today is very much about energizing this part of the body so that we can draw on energy when we need it. And last week we worked a little bit on, we worked on the vagus nerve, and actually the whole thoracic cavity is also where we can actualize the vagus nerve, because when we work with the ujjayi breath, we're working with vagal tone. So today I wanted to do some very specific chest breathing with 3-part breaths with the ujjayi breath. So we're just going to get straight into it. So making this shape with your thumb and your forefingers, you're going to bring your thumbs to the back of your rib cage and your forefingers to the front of your rib cage. Yeah, so you've got a little bit of a position here. And then just close the eyes and start with an ujjayi breath. And as you inhale and exhale, feel how the rib cage expands, and really listen for that sound in the throat. So feeling the breath touching the back of the throat as you inhale and the roof of the mouth as you exhale, and just listening to the sound as you feel the ribs expanding on the inhalation and the ribs coming together on the exhalation. And just do that a few times. Don't worry about the length or making the breath even or uneven. Just experiment with feeling the ribs expanding on the inhalation and ribs drawing together on the exhalation. And just 2 more times. So take as long as you need to really expand the breath into the ribs. Feeling the ribs not only moving to the front, but to the back as well. All right, then bringing your hands down. So we're going to do 3 ohms together, but we're going to emphasize the ooh sound of the so that, again, we feel it in the ribs. If you want to put your hands on your ribs for this, you can, to feel the vibration there, or you can just have your hands relaxed alongside your body. So when you're ready, taking a breath in. quietly for a few moments. Just notice how it feels. If you can feel any sense of that vibration through that rib cage area. You might feel it, you might not feel it, doesn't matter. All right, and then just placing the hands behind the head, we're going to make some circles with the upper body. So rolling the chin towards the chest and then opening out into that side lean to the right, lifting the chest to face towards the ceiling. You can gaze to where the wall meets the ceiling, and then rotating the chest around to the left and then back around, chin down. And let's see if we can make this a smooth circle from side to back to side around. So we're warming up the thoracic spine. You go at a speed that feels relaxed and comfortable to you, noticing the different areas that you're stretching as you're rotating that upper chest around. And if you want to coordinate it with the Ujjayi breath, it's an exhalation forwards. As you move towards the back, it's an inhalation, and then again, exhalation coming back down. So one more, rotating around to the right, using the Ujjayi, and then we'll go to the other side. So we'll go to the left first, and then exhaling as you come to the right and bring those elbows together. And again, rolling to the left and around to the right and rolling to the left and around. And this is our last one, rolling to the left and around. All right, and then just raising the arms up, interlacing the fingers, pressing the palms to the ceiling. Just take a big stretch, lean to the right, lean to the left, and then releasing and bringing your hands behind you. You can come up onto your fists for this and just open the chest. Nice opening through the chest. You can walk from fist to fist if that feels nice to do. Again, we're isolating that movement in the thoracic spine. And then slowly we're going to come on to the hands and knees. All right, so we talked about last week if there are wrist issues, that you can always do this on your forearms. Yeah, so you choose what feels nice to you, if you want to be on your hands and knees or on your forearms, or you can be up on your fists with your thumbs pointing down. And now let's exhale and round the lower spine and round the upper spine, and then tuck the toes under. You can bend the elbows slightly and open the chest. So very small movements in the thoracic spine. Again, if you're on your forearms, you can still move that thoracic spine from here and then open the chest. So just choose what's comfortable. Yeah? Really listen to your own body and let it come from you rather than the guide that I'm giving. All right, so whether we're in this up cat and down cat or on our forearms, let's all meet in child's pose. You can have the knees slightly apart, or you can have the knees together, up to you. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of sliding through here into a baby cobra. So from child's pose, we're going to roll the forearms to the floor, slide the chest through, let your bum stay in the air, and then slide all the way along and just come into baby cobra. Back of the neck long. Take a nice slow Ujjayi breath here. And then if it's not good for your wrists or your hands to press up, just come back onto your forearms and slide yourself back. Okay, otherwise, as we slide through again all together into baby cobra, then on your exhalation, you press into your hands, come onto your knees, and send your seat back to your heels. So again, rolling onto the forearms, slide yourself through, coming into baby cobra, or coming back onto your forearms and walking yourself back. So again, you choose, keep going, you choose the variation that feels great to do today. And then if you can, pressing up onto the hands and knees, sending the seat back to the heels. And we'll do this 2 more times. Forearms to the floor, slide the chest through, coming into baby cobra, pressing back onto the hands and knees, sending the seat back to the heels. Last one, forearms to the floor, slide the chest through, coming into baby cobra, pressing onto the hands and knees, sending the seat back to the heels. And then curling through the spine, hands to the thighs, open the chest. Look to where the wall meets the ceiling or a little bit further back, and then slide the hands down along the floor. And again, curling through the spine, hands to the thighs, opening the chest, and exhale, sliding the hands all the way along the floor. And last one, curling through the spine, hands to the thighs, open the chest, and exhale, sliding the hands all the way along. Let's come on to the hands and knees. We're going to lift up into down dog now. So opening through the chest, lifting the sitting bones high to the ceiling. You can straighten one leg, bend the other. Remembering that if it's, again, too strong on the wrist today, you can always do it on your forearms, lifting up and coming into a, what is this, dolphin pose, yeah? Or we're in the down dog, or we can do half dog here. So I'm just giving you options because anyone doing this practice, you want to feel like you can participate. So either half dog, full down dog, or dolphin pose here. All right, so lengthening through the spine, breathing. Now I'm going to play a little bit here with the difference between sinking the chest and expressing into the thoracic spine and rounding. So tuck your chin into your chest and round your upper spine, and then let your chest sink and let your head lift a little bit. And then again, round your upper spine. You might roll up onto the balls of your feet and lift the heels, and then let the heels fall to the floor as you open the chest. So it's almost like you're doing cat in your down dog. So rounding through the upper spine and then lengthening. So if you were in half dog with the arms out in front, you would do the same thing. Rounding the upper spine and then opening through the chest. And rounding the upper spine and then opening through the chest. All right, so whether you're in down dog or half dog or dolphin pose, we're gonna all meet in Uttanasana. So making your way to Uttanasana, softening through the knees, moving the weight to the center of your foot, just letting your head hang, let your arms hang, really bending the knees here. Feel your belly against your thighs, and then slowly lengthening through the spine, bringing your hands to your thighs, rolling the thigh muscles out slightly and just lengthening the torso. You can have the knees bent here, and then slowly coming upright. So that same movement that we did of circling the upper body, we're going to do that same thing in the upright position. So I'm just going to face you so you can see, having your hands behind and pressing your head into your hands. You're going to round your upper spine, roll to the side, go around to the back, back to the side, and around to the front. And we'll do this 4 times. So inhaling and exhaling around, and just going at a speed that feels comfortable to you as you go around. And this is our last one. To the side, to the back, to the side, and around. And then we're going to go the other way. Going to the side, to the back, to the side, and around. And again to the side, to the back, to the side, and around. All right, and release. So let's move into some sun salutations now, just to get the body even warmer. And again, really working with what feels comfortable to you. I'll give a few variations as we go through. So inhale, arms down, around, and up. Palms to touch, vision to thumbs. Exhale, diving yourself forward. Soften your knees, letting your head release. Inhale, rising halfway. Exhale, plant the full hands on the floor, step or jump back. Plank position, lower your knees, bend your elbows, lower all the way to the floor. All right, so we're going to start off in baby cobra. Just take a breath here, inhalation and exhalation. Take one more inhalation and then roll over the knees, tuck the toes under and come into down dog. Lengthening in down dog, take a breath. As you exhale, soften the knees. You can step or jump the feet forward, lengthening through the spine. Feel the chest opening. Exhale, fold forwards. Knees may be slightly bent and reach the arms out to the side and up. Palms to touch, hands to the center of the heart. Arms down, around, and up. Palms to touch, vision to thumbs. Exhale, diving forward, softening the knees, letting the head release. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, planting the hands, stepping back into plank. You can lower to the floor or you can come into chaturanga. And this time, rolling through into up dog. So holding up dog for a moment, lift your lower abdominals, or if it's too strong on your wrists today, stay in baby cobra. Feel the inner thighs drawing towards each other, opening the chest, and then roll over the toes and press back into down dog. Again, just taking one breath in down dog. Exhaling fully, soften the knees, step or jump the feet forward, keeping the knees bent, lengthen the spine. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, lengthen the spine, come all the way up, palms to touch. Exhale, hands to the center of the heart. Arms down, around, and up, palms to touch, vision to thumbs. Exhale, diving forward, softening the knees, letting the head release. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, step or jump back. Plank position, again, you can lower into chaturanga or all the way to the floor, rolling through into up dog, pressing back into down dog. This time let's take some breaths in down dog, lifting through the thighs. Feel the inner thighs drawing towards each other, breathing deeply here. Use the Ujjayi breath and see if you can direct your breath into your rib cage. So that same thing. Now if down dog is too strong to hold, go back to old dog, to half dog. Sorry, not old dog. Half dog. On the knees with the arms extended, and just work with your breath here. All right, one more breath. And then we're going to step the right foot in between the hands and drop onto the left knee. So when we move into back bends, we don't just want our upper body to be warm and flexible. We also want to work into the hip flexors because the psoas muscle contributes to the amount of give that we have in moving into upper chest openers. So just having your hands either side of your front foot, spreading your toes, working to the outer heel, pressing into the big toe mound. We're not going to come upright. We're just going to stay low for a moment. And just see if you can now direct your breath into your belly. So take some belly breaths and feel how that affects that front left hip flexor. All right, and then plant the hands, tuck the toes, lift the knee, just come into a lunge with the knee off the floor. And then when you're ready, step back into down dog. Or you might be in half dog, if that's more comfortable. And then you'll just step your other leg forward. So whether you were in down dog and you stepped your leg forward, or whether you are in half dog and you stepped your leg forward, let's really spread the toes, deepen through the front of the groin, making sure the knee and the heel are lined up here. And take some belly breaths, really stretching into that hip flexor. You might even like to pressurize your outer thigh against your inner upper arm. Feel the inner thighs drawing towards each other as well. And just breathe deeply into the front of that right groin. Spreading the toes. All right, and then lift the knee, feeling the lunge here. And then either stepping back into half dog or coming into full down dog, just extending the spine. And then gently walk the feet up to the hands, soften the knees, and reach the arms all the way upright. All right, so we're going to do our first official upper chest opener in a standing position. So take your hands and you can either just place them in fists on your lower back, or you can turn the palms to face down towards the sacral dimples. And then we're going to bend the knees a little bit here as well, and we're going to let the whole pelvis rock forwards as we take the upper chest back. So it's a sort of a whole body movement as you lift the upper chest. And even let your head go back. So we're going to rock back behind the heels, and then we're going to rock forwards. Lift along the front of the body. Just let your hips come forward and open your chest and let your head come back. If you feel any pressure at all in your lower back, don't rock forwards as much. Try and isolate the upper chest. We just do this a few times. Rocking back and then rocking the whole pelvis forwards, letting the upper chest come back. So we're not going to do a drop back or anything like that, but this is kind of a warm up for that. All right, and then let's lengthen the spine and come all the way forwards, and just notice how that feels. And actually, let's take a twist here. So step your left leg back, drop onto your left knee, press your left hand into the floor, and just open out to the right. So twisting is the nicest thing to do after a back bend. It just really helps to rotate the spine the other way and take any pressure out of the lower back. All right, and then we're going to come to the other side. So just bring your left foot forward, pressurize into your right wrist or your right fist, and just twist the other way. So if you don't want to put weight on your hands, you can also take it into the twist like so. Yeah? So give yourself that option if it's too strong. All right, so from our twist, we're going to come back and step back again into down dog, neutralizing the spine in down dog, and then slowly walking the feet forwards, hanging forwards, lengthening through the spine, and coming all the way upright, and bringing the hands to the center of the heart. All right, so we're going to step into a lunge now. So step your left leg back, bend your front knee, interlace your fingers, and deepen as much as you can into that lunge as you draw your shoulder blades down your back, draw your knuckles down, and open your chest. So you gaze again to where the wall meets the ceiling, and take some deep breaths into the upper chest. Lift the hands as far away from your lower back as you can. And then raise the arms up, high lunge. And then let's just straighten to the front and turn the other way. And again, lowering the arms, interlacing the fingers, and opening the chest. Drawing the knuckles down, stretching the heel down, spreading the toes, breathing into that upper chest. And again, lift up and stretching forwards. Have both heels out. Raise the arms and then slowly lengthen forward. So nice long length forward, reaching the little fingers right to the floor, walking. Maybe you want to come onto the fingertips, walking that torso out as far as you can, lifting your thigh muscles, drawing your abdomen back to your spine, spreading the toes, breathing deeply. So we're doing an active practice. Now in this position, breathe into the ribs. Use that Ujjayi breath that we did at the beginning of the class and activate the breath right into the rib cage. Breathe as deeply as you can, lifting those thigh muscles. Thinking about how you're activating the energy so that you can use it in life. All right, and then slowly walking the hands back, lengthening the spine. Turn the feet outwards for a moment. And let's just come into a nice strong second position here, a horse pose. The toes can come slightly forwards. We can bring the palms to touch, just gazing straight ahead. You might feel your heart beating. I can definitely feel mine beating. Now, let's interlace all the fingers except for the middle finger. So leave the middle fingers extended and interlace all the other fingers. This is Matangi mudra. Again, it's an energizing mudra. Great for the digestion, also for the mind, for digesting thoughts and ideas, helping focus, creating focus. All right, and then straightening the legs, turning the toes forward, and coming again to the front of the mat. So, last standing pose for the thoracic spine. You're going to step your left leg back, visualize a line down the center of your mat, and either you're going to interlace the fingers and again open the chest, or you're going to hold on to the opposite forearm behind you. Or if you've got a lot of flexibility in the wrists, then you're going to bring the hands into prayer position behind the back. Okay? All right, so we're going to lift the thoracic spine. Our hips are facing forwards like headlights, and we're going to slowly open through the chest, coming all the way into this position, but don't drop forward. Stay upright, stay in the flat back or slightly higher, and just breathe. So if this is too strong on your kidneys, come back a little bit. Don't go all the way. So I'm just talking because I can feel the pressure on my own kidneys, and I can feel a little bit in my lower back. You might even want to round your lower spine a little bit if it's too strong. All right, inhale, come upright. Rotate your feet around. Again, facing those hips towards the back of the mat. Hips are like headlights. Feet splitting the center of the mat. Open the chest, whatever hand position you're in, and then slowly make your way forwards, stopping when you start to feel like there's rounding happening in your upper chest. So you want to keep your upper chest open. And maybe you're like me, you're stimulating a bit of gastric movement and burping. Those are the upa pranas. That means we're releasing prana when we burp and blink and fart and all those things. All right, one more breath and coming up. All right, so let's mellow all that out with a tree pose, but we're going to do a side lean in our tree pose. So if you feel like you'd like to do this with something to hold on to, go ahead and do that. All right, so we're going to shift our weight to the right foot and pick up our left foot and either place that foot with the heel slightly above the ankle or bring the foot right up. All right, you just never want to place that foot on the knee. And then we're just, without raising the arms, we're just going to side lean here for a moment and just notice how that feels. So, as I was saying, if it's hard to do it, you might actually want to put your knee against the wall so that when you side lean, I need to be a little bit closer here. Yeah, so when you side lean, it feels like you've got some sort of balance. Yeah? So if it's hard to side lean, just come back and hold. But if you can side lean a little bit longer, just stay there. It's very challenging for me today. I don't think I can do it. All right, and then come down. All right, awesome. And then we'll change sides. So again, placing that foot where it feels doable for you. Remembering we want that knee slightly forward. Maybe you have that knee against the wall. And then just take a side lean. Take a few breaths here. Don't worry about raising arms. I mean, if you want to raise your arm, you can. It takes it a little bit deeper, but only if it feels like you can hold the balance. All right, and then slowly coming up. Okay, we're going to make our way down to the floor. Okay, so having the toes together, the heels slightly apart, raising the arms, and exhale, slowly coming down, softening the knees, letting the head release. Just noticing how it feels in the upper spine right now. It might feel, or the lower spine might feel a little bit. You might feel a little bit of tension there from all the back bending. All right, and then slowly coming into the plank position, dropping your knees to the floor, bending your elbows, lowering all the way to the floor. So we'll come into Sphinx pose to start off with. So coming up onto your forearms, having your elbows slightly apart, spreading the fingers, opening the chest. Really let your buttocks relax and even pigeon toe your feet slightly. So that's internally rotating the thighs. Have the elbows slightly out in front, slightly out to the side, drawing the forearms back towards you while you're not really moving the forearms at all, but you're activating the muscles, and you can feel the front of the muscles on the front of the chest opening. Now if there's tension in your neck, just let your head hang for a moment. And let's do this a few times. Let's chin into the chest and round the upper spine, and then lift the head and open the chest. Chin into the chest, round the upper spine, and then move the chest forward and open the chest. And chin into the chest, round the upper spine, and then releasing. And last one, chin into the chest, round the upper spine, and releasing. All right, reach the arms further out in front and just lift. Back of the neck long, inner thighs drawn towards each other. Feel that activation in the front of the body. Nice deep breaths here. All right, and release. Just turn your heads to the side. Just take a moment here. Let your shoulders relax completely. Let your buttocks relax and just take some deep breaths. Feel the breath in the back of the body. All right, so bring the fingertips closer towards the chest. Keep the elbows in and slowly lift the upper chest, and keep lifting until you feel your weight coming, like there's some weight on your pubic bone. Maybe it feels more comfortable to bring the hands slightly forward. So go ahead and do that. Let the elbows come in. If it's too strong on your wrists, do this on your forearms. Yeah, so bring yourself up on your forearms and just hold here. If you can, coming up, now really let your chest sink. Just let your chest sink, and then draw back a little bit. Lift your lower abdominals, widen your feet a little bit, and keep going. You can keep widening your feet until you can straighten your arms. You shouldn't feel any pressure in your lower back. If you do, bend your elbows, sink your shoulder blades together, and then push up a little bit more. Keep breathing, let your pubic bone press into the floor, roll your toes in towards each other. One more breath. and release. Turn your head to the other side and just letting go. Let your bottom go. Let your breath go into your upper chest. Breathing deeply. So as you're moving through these different upper chest postures, you're going to feel different areas that are tight, and it really depends on your body. So not every body is the same. So some people feel this in their lower back. Some people might feel this like a pinching in between the shoulder blades. Some of us might feel it really in our kidneys. So you listen to your body and adjust accordingly. Adjust your movements. Maybe move your hands forward, move your hands back. Maybe don't lift as high, right? So play with how it could feel comfortable and safe for you. All right, so from here we're going to draw the feet towards the buttocks, press the forehead into the floor, keep the heels to the buttocks with the knees together, and just lift your upper chest. Just your upper chest. And then breathe. Keeping it really gentle. Now, if this is challenging, if this isn't challenging, sorry, draw your heels a little bit more away and lift up a little bit higher. Let your knees come wide. And just breathe. Breathe into the upper chest. You can flex the feet or point the toes, holding the ankles. Rocking forward and back. Letting your head release. All right, and then drawing the heels to the buttocks, letting everything go, turning the head again to the other side, and breathing deeply. All right, we're going to come into Ustrasana now. So press up onto the hands and knees. And if you have some blocks, well, I think you guys all have blocks, grab your blocks. And coming up onto your knees, just have the blocks beside your shins. And come onto the tips of the, come onto the balls of the feet. And then just reach your fingertips back to the blocks and just open your chest. So without even thinking, we're just going into it, keeping the hips and the shoulders, the hips and the knees as much in line as we can. And just looking to where the wall meets the ceiling and just breathing here for a few moments. If it's too strong on the neck, keep the chin into the chest. If it's too strong to have the hands on the blocks, have the hands on the lower back. All right, and then just sit back on the balls of the feet. If you can, just sit straight back with the toes tucked under so that you're on the balls of the feet. If it's too strong, put your block underneath you and sit like so. Just take some breaths. All right, so we're going to play around a little bit here, and this is all about you and again what your body feels comfortable with. So if you feel like working with the blocks or having your hands on your lower back, that was enough for you today, I invite you to stay in that position. You don't need to go any further. Yeah, I don't want you to hurt your back or strain your kidneys or anything, or hurt your wrists or do anything like that. So just stay in a position that feels comfortable. Yeah, maybe it's here. Maybe it's with the blocks. If it's okay and there's no pressure and you can lean forward a little bit and reach your fingertips to your heels, go ahead and do that. But keep the toes tucked under and just breathe. Maybe you've got a lot of softness in your back and there's no pressure, and you can reach your hands all the way to your heels with the foot relaxed on the floor. Go ahead and do that. I'm not going to demonstrate that. I'm actually going to go to the easiest variation. All right, and then from wherever you are, this time we're going to sit on the tops of the feet and just stay here for a moment. Just relax, just breathe. Notice how it feels. All right, so our last variation for stretch for the back of the body is to come into saddle pose. So maybe today is not your day for saddle pose, and maybe you would prefer to do Supta Baddha Konasana with a block or a bolster underneath you. So just to demonstrate, just coming into Supta Baddha Konasana, it's still a chest opener. You can place one block underneath your upper chest and one block underneath your head, and just feel that slight opening through the rib cage and just relax here. Okay, so choose this one if you really feel like I need a rest now. I don't want to go. I don't want to have any more active postures. I'm ready for passive postures. Okay, for those of us who feel like they've still got a little bit of energy left to activate, this pose, saddle pose, is fantastic for the whole digestive system. And it also opens up the psoas, remembering that the psoas is the deepest muscle in the body, connects the lower half to the upper half, and it's all about engaging the breathing mechanism, deepening that breathing mechanism. So we want to tuck the tailbone under slightly. We can come back onto our forearms. If you've got a bolster, you might like to lie over a bolster, or same thing, you can place the block in between the shoulders and have the other block underneath your head, and you can just rest back like so. So if you can't get this low in this pose, then it's better to go into Supta Baddha Konasana with the support underneath your shoulders, because this is quite strong on the knees, and if you've got knee issues, it's not going to be comfortable. One of the variations that you could do if you have knee issues is to take a towel or something like that, roll up the towel, not too thick, and place it behind your knees to create a little bit of space, and then actually have the block to sit on and just sit like so, and that can be quite a strong stretch for the thighs just on its own without going back. Yeah? So that's just if anyone watching wants to have a sense of doing that pose, but the knees are not happy. Yeah. All right, so just a few more breaths in this position. Maybe you feel flexible enough to go all the way down and lie in a flat position. You can do that as well. And then just get into just relaxed breathing here. All right, and then from wherever you are, slowly coming upright. So if you're also in the Baddha Konasana position, bring yourself upright, and then we're going to come into a forward virasana, maybe with a little bit of support underneath the forehead, or you can put your bolster in front of you and just relax on your bolster. And then just breathe into the back of your body in this position. So I've just got the 2 blocks forward. I'm using my blocks like a bolster. And then just breathe into your back body. Nice slow inhalations and exhalations. All right, and then slowly coming up, and we're going to sit to one side, and we're going to keep, we've done this posture before, we're going to keep the right foot crossed over the left foot. So it's a Bharadvadrasana leg position, and then walk your fingertips over to the right and just come into a side lean here. Breathing deeply into that left side, lengthening through the fingers, coming onto the fingertips of the right hand. And then just coming into a twist, twisting to the left side. Nice open twist, holding onto the outside of your left thigh, turning your torso around, just breathing here. All right, and then coming back to center, swinging the legs around to the other side. Walking the left fingertips out to the left, raising the right arm up, just checking in, noticing, do I feel tight in these side muscles? The quadratus lumborum are the muscles responsible for side bending. So are these a little bit tighter? Yeah. Could I benefit from more side stretching? That's a good question to ask yourself. So in your own home practice, maybe a little bit of more side stretching would be beneficial. And then twisting. All right, and then coming back to center and taking your legs out to the side. We're going to do a little bit more with the upper body. We're going to do these rotations in a seated position, in a straddled position. So again, bringing the hands behind us, exhaling forwards to the side, to the back, to the side. It's a little bit harder in this position, so just be aware of that. Trying to keep the pelvis stable as you rotate the chest around. Just doing one more, and then we're going to go the other way. So we're going to roll from the left to the back, to the side, and around to the left, to the back, to the side, and around to the left, to the back, to the side, and around. All right. And then we're going to take a nice cross twist. So either you can come into Virasana 3 with the legs straight, or if you want to do it as Ardha you can. Raising the left arm up, hooking the upper left arm against the outer right thigh and twisting, or you can hug your shin and twist. Remember, you can always sit up on something. If you have trouble being in this position, you can do it on a block or a blanket. And my suggestion is always to take the easiest variation first, rather than going to the most difficult one. So go to the easiest variation, sitting up on a block, hugging your shin, twisting, but not over twisting, and just focus on your breath. Seeing if you can feel the breath in the side ribs, even engage Ujjayi breath here. All right, and then changing sides, crossing the left leg over the right, or having that bottom leg straight. You choose. Choose what feels best for you. And then hug the shin or hook the upper arm and just twist. And get into the breath here, so don't worry so much about the exact nature of the alignment. Just feel the breath in the body. And then coming back to center, just extending the legs out in front, and we'll come into just a supported Paschimottanasana. Check in with your lower back. If it's too strong to do any kind of full Paschimottanasana after all that back bending, then what about coming into the diamond pose, right? So we have our star pose with the knees slightly out and the feet touching, and maybe you just want to put a block here. So you can do this variation, which is quite gentle on the lower back, or you can come into maybe having something underneath the knees and reaching forwards and coming into a supported Paschimottanasana. Maybe you want to use a block as well here, keeping it really gentle. So only go into full Paschimottanasana if there's absolutely no pressure in your lower back at all. Feel your breath slowing down. All right, and then slowly coming up, I'm going to roll down. So you can roll to the side and lie down, or you can just roll down vertebra by vertebra. And let's hug the right shin in towards us and extend the left leg. Just coming into Apanasana. Really anchor your lower back into the floor. Breathe. And then if it feels comfortable, just roll that knee over And just let that knee fall to the floor, coming into a bit of a twist. I won't stay here too long. And then coming back to center, extending the right leg, hugging the left shin in towards you. And then letting that knee roll over to the other side. Maybe you get some cracks out of your spine. And then hugging that knee in, shin in again. All right, so before we go into Savasana, we're just going to finish with a little bit of centering and breathing. So bring yourself back upright. Hopefully you feel connected to the upper body and it's not too intense on the lower back. So just sitting comfortably. We're going to come into our Padadira Asana. So bringing the four fingers underneath the armpits and the thumbs pointing upwards. Just closing the eyes. And using the Ujjayi breath now, counting the breaths this time, noticing the breath in for 4, feeling how the breath fills up the hands, and out for 4. In for 4. And out for 4. Now, if you can't meet 4, maybe it's in for 2, out for 2, or in for 6, out for 6. Just work with a count that is even and easy for you. And then just let your hands come down. And we're going to finish where we started with 3 ohms. Again, we're going to emphasize that ooh sound. So taking a nice deep breath. And then just gently lie yourself back for Savasana. Make sure that you're really comfortable. Just lying back. Letting go. Just feeling now this upper body and the work that we've done in the upper body. Just feeling your breath there. Noticing the energy there. Just feel how effortless it is just to let the body do what it needs to do. Just recognizing that regardless of what the body's doing, the awareness, you, is ever present. You are ever present. And recognize any feelings of calm or peace as yourself. Pure, untouched, untainted. Always there. Thoughts will come and go. Bodily sensations will come and go. Ideas, beliefs, circumstances, everything comes and goes. But you, the changeless awareness, never comes and goes. Dhyanamulam Guru Murti, Pujamulam Guru Padam, Mantramulam Guru Vakyam, Mokshamulam Guru Kripa. Om Sri Guruve Namaha. So slowly bring your awareness back to your body, moving your fingers and your toes. Maybe roll to one side and just take a stretch. When you're ready, you can come back up to a comfortable seat. So, just noticing how you feel right now, and let whatever is there be there, and may whatever is there be an inspiration for the rest of your day. Hari Om.